Let's get into it. Ron Simmons is a pioneer in a lot of aspects. He is one of the first, if not the first, depends on who records it's wrestling. History is kind of iffy, but one of the first, if not the first, world champions recognized by WCW that was black, African American.
Guys, this is Santino Marella, and you're listening to Wrestling Behind the Curtain.
You already know what it is. Yo, it's your boy, Kenzo the Great. We back with Why You Should Be Watching Black History Month edition. And today we talking about the boy, himself. If you don't know, that's Ron Simmons. I don't know if you like my impersonation. Impressions is not really my thing. I really wasn't going to do that, but I got caught up in the moment. But let's get into it. Ron Simmons is a pioneer in a lot of aspects. He is one of the first, if not the first, depends on who records it's wrestling. History is kind of iffy, but one of the first, if not the first, world champions recognized by WCW that was black, African American. WCW, as well as, which later on, those records count for WWF because they count them in all their world titles. Like, Book of 5 times. His episode coming soon, by the way. So yeah, Ron Simmons, one of the first black champions. He's also a pioneer. We see it a lot. We see like what we had the Rocky Johnson episode last time. Is we had a lot of boxing guys go into wrestling. Ron Simmons, one of the first guys to go from the gridiron, American football, from there to wrestle and do both good. This man was at FSU. I'm not a fan. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to bring any biases here. But I believe he was All American, All Pro, and he was there for 4 years. That's when they were a dynasty. I think while he was there, the record was 38-9. That is insane for playing for Bobby Bowden. If you don't know, that's a legendary coach down there. And then I believe it was the Vikings who drafted him. If not them, and then after them was the USFL, it was the Buccaneers. That's back when Tampa Bay wasn't in the NFL yet. And he was actually teammates with Lex Luger, if I believe. Yeah, it was Tampa Bay Stampede, and it was Lex Luger who was teammate. So that's a little nugget of wrestling information. So later on, one thing that Ron Simmons is really well known for, and which if besides outside the wrestling ring, is he's a great locker room guy, and which is kind of funny because his partner in the APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency, Bradshaw, is kind of known as the opposite. But those two guys, they kind of ran the locker room in kind of different ways. But though that was, if you wanted to talk to somebody, you went up to the big dogs. It was them two, big dogs. So also, obviously, I just mentioned Bradshaw. That was a tag team partner. I believe they have 2 tag team belts. He also has a couple before that when he was with NWA. After NWA, he was briefly with ECW before fighting WWE, which is where I found him in the late 90s and early 2000s. So that's Ron Simmons. It's not a tough video, not a long one. He is a simple guy. Again, we just giving flowers to everybody who deserves their flowers, especially while they're here. Because unfortunately, the next guy we're gonna do, he's no longer with us. Shad Gaspard, his episode coming next. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna have Booker T / Harlem Heat. They'll have an episode soon. Hope y'all enjoying these videos. Hope y'all enjoying Black History Month. If you're new here, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you're not new here, make sure you give it a like. Hey, make that bell not on. We know that bell not on because YouTube tell us. So y'all go ahead and make sure y'all know whenever we get these notifications. And maybe we'll get these videos out to you a little faster. So again, if you don't know, Ron Simmons, again, I told y'all about these Black History Month videos. If you're not new here, they're not in depth. They're not long. They're not, what match should I go see? They're just giving flowers to everybody who deserves their flowers. So this week's, it's Ron Simmons. Do your best, damn impersonation.